completely afterthought shit.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Afterburners.
Am I taking it away? Am I leading this? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I don't know how to start this.
Uh,
Yeah. But he's back.
Oh, you back?
Brian, are you back?
yeah. I guess you guys froze for me.
You froze for
Nah,
me,
dude,
bro.
you froze for
Weird.
us.
That's weird. Time dilation.
You got too close to a black hole.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Afterburners. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that Erick suggested, which is relationship dynamics. Erick, I see you have a long list of notes here, so it seems that we have a lot to discuss and cover. So we'll go ahead and start with what you have here. Relationships span two areas: verbal cues and non-verbal cues. Could you elaborate a little bit on what you were trying to mean there?
Yeah. So basically, and I feel like there's been I don't know how to say this. What I wanted to talk about today was like relationship dynamics between people, like how society interprets different types of relationships. Maybe what kind of emotions come from having a relationship with others, whether it's like an acquaintance, you have a very different relationship with like a friend or an acquaintance rather than like a loved one, or like especially one of the most intimate relationships, like familial relationships.
Right.
And like so basically, the first thing I wanted to say was that like relationships are very complex. They have two different areas, I think, that are very important, and that's the verbal cues and the nonverbal cues. So like when people say things to you, or like they talk to you, they often gesture or they do something else, or they like have different inflections of their voice. So like you know that's an example of both verbal and nonverbal cues that people like a lot of times miss, or they misinterpret.
It's good to have both verbal and nonverbal cues and to understand and interpret those cues to have a better understanding of that person to determine what kind of relationship you're wanting at at starting at an acquaintance level, whether you like them or dislike them, whether you see them as good acquaintance, bad acquaintance, or still on the fence, still deciding.
Mhm.
A lot of the nonverbal cues that would be considered today would be the term vibes, for sure.
For the Gen
And
Zers out there.
yeah.
Did
Yeah,
you pass
both
the
are
vibe check?
Also known as emotions, vibes and emotions.
right. Of course.
Are also known as vibrations.
All right, and then I basically asked basically what are some problems that can occur due to some experiences
More like
that
the nature.
happen. Yeah, in the nature of relationships. Yes, misunderstanding and miscommunication, reading signals wrong, uh, not having enough communication if there's multiple parties involved, like a group of friends.
Yeah. So like I guess we can start with the first one, like misunderstanding. And that kinda goes hand in hand with like miscommunication. So like if I say, hey, I don't know, like that's kinda weird. But like you see how like I didn't have enough time to process what I wanted to communicate to the other people in this video, and then you know maybe they might have misunderstood something that I was trying to evoke or like say or something, something like that.
Right. Alex, do you have any input?
Yeah, I guess I would say kind of first and foremost, it's all in the eyes of the beholder. So interpretation is a big part in relationships and feelings, and yeah, I would say there's a lot of weight here on the interpreter, and depending on the types of interpreters interacting.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I tend to generally agree with your statements, Eric. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
think happens like to what do you think like leads to misunderstanding?
So that's interesting, right? So could we all agree that we see the same stuff? We all observe the same stimuli, but we have different conclusions about that stuff. Even though it's the same stuff we see,
Mm-hmm.
certain people look
Many
at that.
different interpretations. One
Right,
event.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it
And that,
doesn't mean.
I guess. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Being right or wrong is not really. It's not really the thing. It's just based on interpretation. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one way to look at it.
I think one of the biggest things that is an example of like misinterpretation is like, or like not of different interpretation. Sorry, different interpretation from multiple different parties is like the Bible. You know, a lot of religions
Sure.
have like the same concepts, but like they word it slightly different. You know, like they have different ideas or have
Yeah.
totally different ideas too. But like
And I think
they
that's
say it came from like similar source. Like they all have a background where like it kind of all unites at one point. Kind of crazy.
right. I believe the most prominent example of that is the Jewish religion and the Christian religion,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the Jewish religion, the Torah is essentially the Old Testament,
Yep,
and Christianity
yep.
has the Old Testament and the New
And the New
Testament in
Yep.
the Bible.
Another
Yeah.
thing that kind of comes up in my mind right now is one thing I think about too is when I think about kind of relationships and other people interacting with myself, I also think about how I react with myself in that respect
Mhm.
as well. So like I can interact with others and I can interact with myself. But it's that, what am I trying to articulate here? It's the idea or the notion that how people see or interpret us matters to some degree. So also how we interpret ourselves can determine to some degree how other people look at us, which is it's kind of a tricky game.
It's
Mhm.
like it's a subconscious need to be viewed as necessary in society. Because, I mean, if you break it down, this society that you live in is essentially like this tribe that you're a part of.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
just
It is a
it's
very
normal
advanced
for
tribe.
humans, it's normal for most humans to want to be accepted and a part
Well, here's another way
of
you can also see
this
that. Yeah.
tribe.
It's
So maybe
like
that's
I'd
the
say
first.
like
Oh, sorry.
sorry. Essentially, yeah. If I don't like myself, how is anybody how am I gonna hope for anybody else to like me if I don't even like me? You know, that's an
Right.
interesting conundrum. Now people can still like you based on even if you don't like you, but it makes that process easier if you also like you. It makes other people like you maybe slightly more. But I guess I really want to say how important this view, these lenses really matter to, I guess, relationships, because you can imagine sort of like a man or woman being together in a modern relationship, and there's sort of like this drive. One person kind of chooses the leader role, and this kind of leader role kind of like molds the relationship as it goes along. So it's tricky because two interpreters, right? One interpreter and the other interpreter, if they're aligned, if their values are misaligned, they're probably gonna have a lot of problems. If their values are closerly aligned, that'll be probably better.
What do you mean by leader?
Yeah, I don't think that's entirely right because you can have like relationships where people are equal.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like friends are equal.
Yeah, because I mean,
Like,
relationships are a
coworkers
two-way
are.
street.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you kind of
Well,
like, yeah.
yeah, most certainly. I mean, so
The
it's not all
relationship is
relationships are
molded
like
by
that,
both the
but
people,
Hmm.
depending on their interactions.
But yeah, that could maybe segue into our first lens of our first inspection of the societal lens of relationships, society's relationships.
another thing I might want to point to is that I want to notice what you guys are saying and say, yeah, there can exist relationships where there's truly a balance, right? But those, can you notice that it's harder to get that state because it's easy to get imbalance. It's easy to find
Oh yeah,
misalignment,
yeah.
but it's hard for
I'm not
everything to
saying it's
come up.
like I'm not saying that doesn't exist. You know, there are some relationships where like familiar relationships with parent and child, where that's
Mhm.
clearly either way you want to look at it, it's clearly a power imbalance on one side or the other, whether it's on the child side or on the parent side, you know?
Yeah. All I'm saying is that it's more harder or more rare. It takes more work
Oh
to
yeah,
have
yeah, for
proper
sure. For
alignment.
sure. For
So,
sure. For sure.
but yeah.
Mhm. But yeah, like societies, relationships, like your relationship in society is very interesting too. How you relate to others, whether you see yourself as useful or like necessary or like contributing to society at least. You know, it's kind of weird that you like push yourself, and it's society's impact on you to want to be that way, but also you push society to be that way. So it's a give and take relationship.
I'm a philosopher, so I could go into this quite deeply. I mean, relationships, it's kind of deep philosophically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, there's a
interesting.
lot there for it.
But like yeah, like Alex was saying, it is harder to get to like a state of like equality within a relationship. You have to really work at that, and like
Hmm.
that's especially true in like relationships where like it's like partner relationships, you know.
Hmm.
I like how you
And
said. Oh no, go ahead, Alex.
oh, I was just gonna say how I guess maybe the self-awareness aspect is a big part of getting that equilibrium, so to say. So if you're not aware of yourself, like I don't think you can ever really hope to get that sort of equilibrium. That's kind of the
Mm-hmm.
first
Right.
Because you have to know your
observation.
worth
Yeah,
before you can give your worth and see
and
compared to other people, you know.
that's pretty tricky. Yeah.
Mm, definitely, definitely.
Anyway, sorry, Brian.
No. You're all good. I wanted you to finish your thought because I was gonna jump to another thing. I was just gonna say I like how for pain, Eric, you said hell is other people,
Oh
and
my.
I have to agree with that. I mean, there's always good people and there's always bad people,
Mm.
but humans are more engineered to uh
We're engineered to be more cutthroat, I think.
yeah,
Mm.
we're more and more uh
Predatory?
we like negative things.
Oh yeah, 'cause we I think it's scientifically proven that we
Yeah,
gain more information from negative events rather than positive
right.
reinforcement.
Yeah,
Cognitive bias. We talked about it, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah. And it really just like cuz like it's just a lot easier to see the bad in the
Hmm.
world than it is to see the good,
Hmm.
Mhm.
unless you're
Especially in
actually,
society's age
on the
now,
front
where you have
lines
phones and stuff.
doing it, helping.
I would also, yeah, I'd point to that for survival, man. Yeah. It
Hmm.
sucks.
Oh
It
yeah,
sucks
yeah.
because we see all that bad stuff, but yeah, it's like
Especially with the digital age, where you can literally see anything at the touch of a button. You know.
Yeah.
so it makes happiness and satisfaction an uphill battle because
Mhm.
we see this stuff that gets
It's
in the way of
overwhelming.
that, and we're like, well, what do
What's
I
the
do?
point, man? Yeah,
Yeah,
basically, you're
yeah,
like, what's the point?
yeah. So it's kind of getting
And
over the
then,
hump of the bias. Yeah.
yeah. But like, what I really wanted to talk about with the how is other people is that like the idea that people can cause suffering for other people, you know, like pain, that's real,
Hmm.
like and words have impact, actions definitely have impact.
Yeah.
Nature doesn't really hurt you. You know, you go outside, it's always beautiful, you know. Unless it's like raining, but like even then there's some sort of peacefulness or something
Hmm.
like that. There's some kind of mild or neutral or positive emotion attached to like the negative emotion too. Because you can
Hmm.
appreciate like some aspect of it, you know. But like if you go and talk to other people, people can quickly change your mood from like 100 to like 0, and it's crazy. Like,
Hmm.
and even if it's not like anything they said, maybe it's the way they said something, and maybe it's like the way they did something to you without even saying a word that makes you feel that way. And that's
Right.
kind of interesting too.
On another point to this, pain. Yeah, it's very real. It's very visceral. Everybody knows it.
Mm,
Everybody experiences it. Um,
mm-hmm.
and it acknowledging it, that's one thing. We can ignore it and say, I'll push it back on the back burner and tough it out, or you can bring it to the forefront and try to work through it, so to say. So hopefully, try to resolve this pain. Um, but also, I know you had mentioned earlier about how kind of pain happens intentionally or even unintentionally. I think people can intentionally do something and that's bad. We have to acknowledge when the intent is behind it, and then just acknowledge when it was just an accident. And
Mm-hmm.
both are bad, but one, you can tell, oh, he was really trying to cause this, where the other, you're just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's just just happens. So
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, interpreting it and being,
And that kind
I
of
guess, truthful about it. Yeah.
that kind of also relates to your point earlier about like interpretation. It's up to the person themselves, you know.
Yeah.
Like there's a really big like disparity, I think, between understanding yourself and understanding others. Because you see other people all the time, but a lot of times you can't really see yourself unless you like look in the mirror, like physically look at yourself, because you're you know.
Yeah.
So you don't really appreciate yourself unless you look at a reflection or like you look inward.
Yeah, I mean, oftentimes we're just blind to ourselves. Well, I mean, we're
Mhm.
we're so in ourselves that we just want to get
Forget
out.
ourselves. Yeah.
We just want to see what's out there, not so much what's in here, because it's very personal. It's very visceral. It's very
Yeah.
emotional and hard to deal with.
Mhm.
But I think it's beneficial. I would say we live
Mhm.
most of our lives as one being. So, I mean, our entirety lives as one being, and
Mhm.
uh we have to sit tight. I mean, and we have to maybe figure out how to manage being with this person known as I.
Mhm.
So um
Me, myself, and I.
yeah, yeah, maybe you could be your own party, to some degree. But I think a lot of people have trouble just looking at themselves, and well, I think it's based on action too. So, right, I did
Mhm.
this thing long ago, so I feel this way about it. Um, so that's another tricky thing about it, is that when we do things, it reinforces how we feel about ourselves,
Mhm.
um, positively or negatively. So
Mhm.
we need a certain sort of awareness to acknowledge the self and others, and really be aware of
Yeah.
what we're doing, and how it impacts ourselves and others.
Mhm.
Because we can live in unconsciousness, and we can
Live in
do
bliss.
stuff, yeah, where we simply are not.
Unconscious bliss.
Yeah, yeah, it's like,
Or what's that one saying or whatever?
ignorance
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 is
is
bliss.
bliss. Right. So I don't know
Yeah.
about it. I don't know about it. So I mean, I'm just happy because I don't have I don't have the knowledge to be upset about something I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
if you can push through it and develop the self, which I think really is what kind of being human is we're kind of put here to sort of grow, whatever that means in life. So I think in life we're going to have to deal with people other than ourselves, and we're going to have to deal with ourselves as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we can take a bad attitude, and we can just say, you know, I'm upset with everything and everyone and myself, or you know, I can try to say maybe I am cool, maybe I can do things, you know.
And on the flip side of like people hurting other people is that, you know, people heal other people, you know?
Mhm.
The power of humanity is that we can come together as a group, or like at least a portion of a group, if not a whole group as humans, to help other people of our own race, you know, our own kind, you know, like
Mhm. The
just
community.
people, community, yeah, because and that goes back to the relationship part where like you build deeper relationships to have a community, because if you just have a bunch of shallow relationships, nobody knows anybody really. There's distrust. But if you
Yeah,
create trust through actions in a relationship with other people, then you build a deeper bond with other people, and that uplifts people, that heals people.
yeah, and I think, you know, I guess when we're talking about relationships, we're also talking about priorities and values, because
Mhm.
we don't want to get with somebody who doesn't have our values. You know, if they value something else, it can be hard to admire them, to like, because they don't like the things that,
Mhm.
and it doesn't have to always be that way, but it helps when
Mhm.
you have that similarity. Um,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's the paradox of free will, is that it creates the liberty to do your own path, do your own thing.
Hmm.
But
But it
then
also
other
separates
people,
people.
it separates people because it causes like people to not like you, or like distrust between, because of the things that you do or say, you know, because you have free will, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy when you really get down to it.
Definitely like an interesting paradox.
Right. Yeah. Life is
Mhm.
quite paradoxical.
Life is a joke, man.
Cosmic joke, yeah.
Am I a joke to you? Life, yes.
Yes.
But yeah, what do you think, Brian?
I don't know, man. I'm kind of running empty on creative
Sure.
Yeah, that's all good.
inspiration.
I mean,
It's all good.
you can just chill and listen.
We're hanging. We're hanging.
Yeah,
Actually, I
Hanging,
might.
chill.
I'm just tired.
I'm gonna take
But,
a bathroom break. We can cut it here. Like, do whatever. I'll be back. You're in
I
the
think
in
you're just
between.
tired, man. We can cut it for tonight. I see you yawning, bro.
Here's an idea. Let's just get less serious.
But I want to talk about serious stuff.
No. Less serious. Not more
I
serious.
know, I know, but I want to talk about serious stuff.
Oh, you want? Oh, you want to
Okay.
talk about? Okay.
Okay.
I'm finding this really cool.
Okay. Okay. I just didn't
But
know if it was too much for
all
but
Brian
right.
right now.
we can change it. We can change it.
I'm fine with it. I mean, I like
I'm
the
cool. I'm
discussion.
cool. I think it's interesting.
Okay.
So, Brian, tell me how your feelings are. What are you feeling right now, Brian?
That's what I just asked him. That's what I just asked
I don't
him.
know. I have a bit of a headache going on.
Oh, well, we can cut it. We can cut it.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay. How about knowing and not knowing people?
Yeah.
Like, how well do you know people really? Like,
That's a
Yeah.
good.
because
Yeah.
you know people can lie and be deceitful.
Mhm. Some people are really good at that, you know? That's
Oh
the
yeah,
worst
some
part.
people are really really good at it. Yeah.
Like a good example is like the show Dexter. Dexter's so good.
Oh
But
yeah.
he hides
Dex.
so well. But
for
he
him to
also
say
has a
so.
code. He had a relationship with society, and he decided to not kill people who are like good people, you know. And he
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
determined
was
good by
good.
a set of code, and so that's a lot. That show is heavy on the relationship dynamics.
Yeah, and when he, wants to feed that hunger of his by
Hmm.
killing someone, he needs to know for sure that they are a bad person,
Yeah, so he
someone
does his
who
research. Yeah,
causes harm to society
yeah,
by his
yeah.
own moral standards.
Hmm.
I think it's
And that.
really interesting how we can know people like just that itself, like how it's just like the brain's really good at recognizing faces
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So, and a lot of memories, I think, develop with others.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Hmm.
Uh, and I think it's just really cool just how has us programmed for that to, be able
Hmm.
to know people, quickly, like, see someone's face and immediately you're basically like able to recognize, that face if you see it later
Hmm.
and go, oh, that's
Yeah.
this person. You might
Hmm.
forget the name, but then eventually you will attach a name to it. I think it's just really cool, like just how many people you can also know.
Hmm. Hmm.
Although there is a limit before you start mixing up names and faces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I guess to go a little bit further into this, like there's like a certain degree of knowledge we have about people, right? Because we don't know them exactly. We have like a constructed idea of this person.
Yeah,
And
but
that can
nobody
be
really.
accurate.
Yeah.
Well, it can be accurate or it could be inaccurate, depending on how you evaluated them. So, and again, people are being updated all the time. So people
What?
from today
People are
versus
being updated.
yeah. So like who you are today is not who you were yesterday.
I know,
And
but it's just the way you said it. It was funny.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Are you
We're updating our
Am I
servers.
downloading? I'm downloading the new update, bro.
are you basically
Yes.
saying that we are able to assess people a lot quicker because of the just immediate access to information via social media and the internet that we have?
I
Because
would
like if
say
someone does something bad and then like what's an example? Like let's say someone what's a good example? Like
Oh, like the Gooner shit.
no. Like what's the word? Like pedophiles or
Oh,
people
like
that have
those
like
caught on tape or whatever.
yeah, people that use their
Caught
uh
predators. Got to catch predator type shit.
their right, that and yeah, yes, exactly. Thank you. I'm sorry. I am like to catch a predator, like you said, Eric. Yeah, it's like that because like as soon as that airs, that person's life is like kind
Yeah,
of wrecked because,
yeah. They
you
all
see the
have this like
face,
in the
we have the
past. You
name,
know?
it's like, yep. And if, the cops bust them and actually are able to, convict them in court and stuff of that, and then they go on the sex offender registry.
Trying to figure out how to say it. Relationships also like can evolve during time, like Alex was saying, definitely. And then people are updating. Oh shit, hold on. People change all the time. People can definitely do things that were out of character 5 years ago, but now are like totally different. People evolve to be different, to be better themselves, to think they are better a version of themselves, maybe, or maybe they're just changing. Yeah, and there's a lot of change in relationships too. So you have
for
to learn how
better
to
or
manage.
for worse.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So you have to learn how to manage those changes too, and decide how you want to act or what you want to do based on those changes. People, you know.
Yeah. Another thing to maybe add to this as well is to kind of play point to how we feel about ourselves. Well, I wanted to say that we do actions, right? And we feel certain ways about those actions. But I think, yeah, it's like we better be careful about the kind of action that we do and really think about how really like anything that we do, we should say, will I ever regret this ever, by doing this, right? So like
Mm,
in the
mm,
act that we do, there's always that little reminder in the back that says,
mhm.
do I actually want to do this, or is this something
Yeah,
that is put onto me that I should do, versus something that like
yeah.
like
Especially now,
obligated to, yeah.
yeah, especially now where everything's recorded, it's like it's not
Right.
just you do it and you
Mhm.
forget about it and only people who were there remember it, No, everybody can see it at all at once, you know. All the
Well, it's
world. The whole
also
world could probably see your video.
yeah,
Or
it's
if
also a
there
good
was a
way.
video, you
I
know?
think it's
Yeah.
also a good way to just kind of live, like to live without
Yeah.
regret
Mhm,
is a
mhm,
positive
Right.
lifestyle, because you don't want to be constantly reevaluating yourself and questioning your own actions and being like,
mhm.
because if it's wasting energy at that point, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
you're using your mental cognitive resources
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
ask
And if
ask
you
each time.
do something that you do regret, you feel guilt. And
yeah.
based on what you do with that guilt, it can either lead to you, like, shoving it down and being like, no, what I did was fine, it's okay. Or you can take that guilt and be like, what I did was wrong, and I need to be a better person. So you become a
Mhm.
better person.
Mhm.
And you don't
But
do that anymore. You don't do it again.
all this is all this is like awareness and bringing it to the forefront and observing it and accepting it. It's not
Right.
pushing it away, not saying,
Right.
it's like in the moment it might be painful, it might not be fun to do, but like at
Right.
least it is the like truth, right? So to
Mhm.
say. So yeah, it's I think it helps decision making just in general, because if you're actively thinking about, oh, I won't regret this because, or if you really think,
It's based on your own
it's a certain
justification.
level of certainty. Yeah, yeah.
Comfortability.
It's your value
Yeah.
structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all based
So,
on, like, how you interpret it and what your morals are and ethics
Yeah.
are, to be like,
Mhm.
what I'm doing is okay. You try to find justification for nearly almost everything you do.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
From
yeah.
the small stuff like, oh, I should have a salad. Justification, I need to eat healthier, to,
Mhm.
um, bigger things like, uh, I don't want to go to extremes because that's all I'm thinking of, but like, oh, okay, oh,
So I should go to
I
this
wanna,
school because
I punch this person, and then your justification is they're a dick. I don't like them. They said something very rude to me. They pushed me. You have
mm,
a justification for why you did it,
mhm.
Hmm.
especially in the
Yeah.
heat of the moment.
And then there's some people who like act like totally like we might say crazy, but like to them it's just like their free will. How people
Yeah.
can break themselves free of that limitation.
Identifying emotions that exist due to relationships. Love, a very intense emotion, yeah.
Mhm.
Love is definitely a good base for a lot of relationships, whether
Mhm.
it's, a, romantic love with the
Mhm.
partner or the person you are dating or married to,
Mhm.
to family, love your
Mhm.
family, and friendships, you can love your friends. And I think that's very important because if but and by love, I mean, to care, it allows you to be more empathetic.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Is it? Because empathy is experiencing another's feelings, while
Yep.
sympathy is understanding another's suffering. So yeah,
Yeah.
empathy.
Yep.
Because if you're able to care for these people and understand what they're going through and being able to be there for you, it allows you to create a deeper bond with those people, which creates a stronger relationship. Uh, and having multiple strong relationships like this is always good, because it always means that you have people that you trust and rely on, because I mean that's always the number one thing that's needed in any sort of relationship is trust. Because if
Mhm.
you don't trust the people, you're not going to open up to them at all. If you don't open up, all you're doing is anything that you want to get out, you're just bottling it up constantly, and that's never good for anyone.
Yeah.
It's always good to have people you can rely on and talk to, that you trust, that also trust and care for you, that want to help you
Mhm.
with whatever it is that you may be dealing with. And it's also good to just have these people to just, have experiences with, It's,
Mhm.
never always, to just, I need someone there for me at all times. It's also just, I want to go see a movie with, my girlfriend, or I want to have my friends over to play cards, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it allows you to really express yourself a lot more and not always have a mask on at all times.
Yeah.
That
For
we
sure.
often do, and that's always good.
One thing I might want to mention here is, yeah, it's good to be open with people that we can trust, right? But there is an
Yeah.
element of vulnerability that we should acknowledge. It's great to be open and trust people, but to know who to be trusted, who can be trusted with our vulnerability, because that's a big part of this love interaction. It's a give and take of energies. Um, so I think sort of acknowledging, okay, I'm going to be vulnerable, but at the cost of being vulnerable, I might gain this love, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna go
But it's
use the
not always
restroom real quick.
sure, yeah, but it might not always be guaranteed.
That's the part of that's why love is very elusive and very important. Is because it's not guaranteed and it's not permanent.
Yeah, it's precious. Yeah, it's limited,
Limited
right?
resources.
It's also interesting for me to talk about sort of like raw emotion versus like, because we can just understand love without any thoughts behind it, right? Or hate,
Mhm.
just hate. You don't have to think too hard to know what it is, but then we can think things and makes things interesting. We have feelings about our thoughts. It does kind of remind me also about the story of the two wolves and the good and the bad wolf.
Oh my god.
I mean, it makes sense, right?
Okay,
Symbolically,
Twilight.
symbolically.
Yeah. Forget about the Native American legend?
Twilight.
No.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
the Native American legend. Yeah, the two wolves and which one's
It's like the
stronger.
spirit and like the will or something, isn't it?
So yeah, you have there's these two wolves that are fighting for dominance within each person, and there's
Mhm.
like, so to say, a good wolf, which is white or a certain color,
Mhm.
pure, divine, loving, and then
Another
there's a bad wolf.
example is like the angel and devil on your shoulder as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's like that. It's just kind of think to, if you really believe that in each person there's these two wolves, well then you can kind of determine, oh, this wolf is a little bit stronger. Maybe their wolves are in harmony. But I think it does have something to do with love too, like in the traditional sense. Like if you think of marriage, you got the masculine and the feminine. They're like
Yeah.
But it's weird because there's also no winner. Just an endless cycle. No resolution. Just thing.
I thought you said winter.
No.
I was like, what the fuck? Is he really
Uh,
talking about literal wolves?
what about let's talk about empathy and sympathy.
Yeah, so what was the difference, Alex, again?
Okay, so from my understanding, empathy, it means that I just simply I observe what people feel, and when I observe people feel, I feel that way also. So it's like monkey see, monkey do. I see you upset, I also get upset. It might not be a lot upset, it might be a little bit upset, but I'm still reflecting some emotional energy. That is known as empathy. Sympathy is the understanding in my mind. I've been there before. I know that emotion. Am I feeling that emotion right now? Nah. But I know it. Also, fun fact, you can induce a sympathetic harmonic resonance when you have sound emanating in a spot in another spot. It's called a sympathetic influence, I think, something like that.
You're gonna have to give me a sec. I'm trying to get some sugar in my body to power through.
All good, man. We could talk maybe a little bit more. I know we talked sort of about verbal cues and nonverbal cues, but we could go a little bit into that more.
Sure. Well, what were you thinking?
I just think a lot of our lives are in the verbal realm, but the nonverbal realm is kind of mysterious. We have to just kind of interpret that in our own sort of way. But there's just sort of like weird things that we know about behavioral stuff, like the body language. It's just interesting to kind of see the correlations between, like in a general sense, between, the interplay of these two.
What are you talking about?
Just like how verbal and nonverbal communication operate.
Oh yeah.
There's like that. There's sort of an elusive nature to it, nonverbal communication, just because it's
Yeah.
nonverbal, not discrete. So,
It is discreet.
well, you can measure it, but it's hard to
That's what I'm saying. It
interpret.
is discreet.
It's discrete but hard to interpret.
Oh yeah. You said it's not discreet.
Okay.
I was just saying. Anything else on the paper? The
Lust.
document? Yeah. I don't know. What do you want to say?
What about it?
Yeah. What about
you
it?
guys experience lust?
No, never.
I don't know.
I find
I
that
don't think
hard to
so.
believe.
Yeah, there's many temptations. Lust being one.
Always lusted after Joe. Joe
Just
Mama.
Oh my god! What the fuck up? I can't believe I fell for that. Oh my god.
I can't believe I got you with that. That's so good.
Man,
It's all fucking video now.
got you on tape. Yeah, I think lust is a very powerful emotion, especially when like some people can just feel it to such an extent like that they act.
I have to gratify it.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
They act, and sometimes they can act out of the ordinary in order to do that.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it's not always bad if you want to act that lust out. It's just good to do it with someone who, as long as you're doing it in an environment where everyone is consenting,
Mhm.
everyone who's involved, and
Sure.
that it's also done in a healthy way.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
Assuming you understand the healthy way.
Yeah, it's also based a lot about. your own perception of love as a child, you know. That's kind of the psychological part of it. It's like you base your love, your knowledge of love based on what you saw from your parents. Any, you know.
Definitely.
But
That's like why people have to break out of the trauma, you know, of like abuse or like, you
yeah,
know, other situations where like maybe it wasn't as widely received as it should have been, you know.
Yeah, the goal of every parent should be, how can I raise my kid to be better than me?
Mhm. Yeah, that's what my parents always tell me. They have made that point very clear as along the years that
That's
they
why
want
it's
me to.
always good to
That's
have
why,
parents.
you know,
That's why it's always good to have parents that support you, that, say that I'm proud of you when you did something that you feel like
it's good.
achievement and
Or, yeah,
accomplishment with. Yeah,
yeah,
because it fosters that.
positive reinforcement.
Yeah,
yeah. Positive reinforcement and definitely fosters a deeper bond with that person too.
yeah, and they'll
Going back to the
strive to
relationship
do
part.
better and better.
Yep. What are you eating?
Are they marshmallows?
No, it's saltwater taffy. I got a
Oh,
bag
what?
of it.
Oh shit! Yeah, load it up.
$35 worth of taffy.
Nice. When today?
Like a year ago or something.
Oh damn.
It's a little crunchy on the outsides,
That's
but
how
it's
you know
still
that
chewy.
that's the best time. That's the best time.
Dude, if there's one thing I really love, it's stale popcorn.
You got it, bro. You got it. That's the one.
I will pop a bag, open it, eat a couple handfuls, maybe half the bag, and then I'll just roll it up and leave it out, and then I'll just come eat it. I'll eat it as a snack next
Later
the
on.
next no, the next day in the afternoon.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I don't know why, but
A lot.
I feel like it's better. Like, not always. Like, I'm not saying,
Man, I thought you were joking
I don't
until you
want
said
popcorn
that.
unless it's stale, but like every once in a while, it's just like I get in the mood for this stale popcorn. There's just something about it that's just so good. Let's talk about like kind of the opposite of love,
Mhm.
hate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hate is definitely a strong emotion, and it definitely is usually negative. Uh,
Mm.
Usually always related with anger, and there's more healthy ways to get to channel that anger rather than to hate, because like, well, let's start with a question. Do you guys think it's okay to hate some things?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah, because you will
Yeah.
never, but just based on your personality, you will never fully be into everything. You know, there are some
Right.
things you just won't like, and some things you will absolutely dislike. You know, that's
Like,
a
right,
fact.
right, right. Like, I hate rapists.
Yeah,
Like, that's
yeah,
just a fact. Like we discussed earlier, the
mhm,
justification
yeah,
of it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I always feel like anything that's can be related to negative, uh, we seem to uh, we seem to kind of always need a justification for that. Like, there's always some underlying issue for why you did that and why you thought it was okay to do that.
Yeah. Yep.
Apathy. What's that?
Oh wait, before we head on too
The
quick here.
Oh,
lack of
yeah.
caring.
Yeah, that's true. But I just wanted to say that um, I guess one way we got to be careful with hate, right? Because I wouldn't
Oh,
say it's
yeah.
ever. I wouldn't say. I tend to believe that no emotion is ever wrong. I think emotions they're always right. However, here's a big but, right? The emotions may be correct, but how we think about those emotions are probably wrong. So it's our thinking that is has to be, I guess, true. It has to be very, very close to true, objective truth.
What
Um,
about what? Okay. So what about inappropriate relationships, then? Such as
So,
like a
like,
student teacher shit.
sure,
Whoa.
sure.
So
So,
what do
like,
you think about that?
I think, again, it's hard to justify hate, right? But it doesn't. I'm not saying hate cannot be justified, because it can be if it's properly done. But it's that question of if it's properly done, which
Right,
is
like
a
we
hard
can
thing to
all
distinguish.
like we always know it, if it's a student teacher relationship in elementary,
You can,
middle, high school,
yeah,
it's inappropriate. You shouldn't, but
Yeah,
also, like the justification
like
for like
higher.
college students though is
Mhm.
we're both consenting adults.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't have that relationship because of the dynamic of the relationship
Mhm.
that is expected in this establishment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once that relationship is deemed over or terminated, then sure, you can pursue a different kind of relationship with them, I believe.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think another thing I want to at least mention briefly about hate too is that there's often this negative connotation with hate for a good reason, right? But
Yeah.
there are times that it can be beneficial. It's just we have to really be careful.
It pushes for change for sure. Because you
Sure,
absolutely hate the way things are, right? As
sure.
it is,
It drives action.
drives
So
action,
Yeah.
drives change, civilization,
uh but
progress.
we have to be very delicate and careful with what we're trying to change and why we're trying to
Mhm.
change it.
Yeah.
So it takes a good self awareness to utilize hate in a proper manner, because it can often go awry. And I would say most times we should not.
Like Oppenheimer. He
Mm,
hated the war, so he wanted to end the war. But he created a tool so powerful that it ended the war, but he
at
hated
what
it at the
cost?
end, right?
I am become death.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a very interesting relationship of hate and
I
also
think that
change.
quote, "I am become death, destroyer of worlds." I'm pretty sure that's from old Indian philosophy. Um,
Oh,
He just quoted that.
it's yeah, I think it was in the Yoga Sutras maybe.
Mhm.
Um, I just thought it was a kind of fun comparison.
huh.
But yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
But
So
yeah, I mean, because like he he was instructed to do it, so he did it. And after he realized, after it was done and he realized the actual destruction of it all and just how many people suffered, he just felt a lot of guilt, because
yeah,
he's like,
Yeah, for sure.
I've
For sure.
I created literally the thing that could end all of us. I haven't just killed them, I've killed us all.
Yeah.
sure.
And it's definitely also a heavy weight to also have on your conscience that like
Oh yeah.
you killed millions.
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe. How
He was
many
like probably
people actually died?
in Hiroshima and
Yeah.
Nagasaki. Is it Nakamura? Nagasaki?
Nagasaki. Yeah.
Nagasaki. And then there was a third one, wasn't there?
I thought there was only two.
The bombing had killed an estimated 140,000 people in Hiroshima and a further 74,000 in Nagasaki. Sorry, not millions. My bad.
Thousands though. Thousands.
Oh yeah,
Imagine
hundreds of
killing
thousands.
thousands. Hundreds of thousands. That's
Yeah.
insane.
See that altogether is 21
Thousand. 210.
214,000
Oh,
people.
14.
214,000 people, over 200,000 people. Like, having that on your conscience, that you killed that many people, like, because of you, that many people are dead, like, that's gotta be insane. Like, and I feel like that can really make someone hate themselves.
Oh yeah, for sure. If that doesn't make you hate yourself, I don't know what
Right,
will.
right. Like you either just feel so much guilt and you just hate yourself, or you just like you shove it down so much that you just kind of lose it, or you completely just disconnect. Like like people after the war that have like that extreme PTSD, they're just
Yeah.
completely disconnected. They're
Yep.
gone. Like
Yep.
mentally, they are so mentally like just fucked. And it's really sad to actually just see that stuff, because it's just like
That'd be a fucking.
they're just a shell of who
Uh,
they were before, because like they're just constantly
that wouldn't be
reliving
my
that
choice. Just a
experience.
way to go out.
Yeah, and I definitely understand why a lot of them commit, you know, gay men, because like you would just hate constantly re-experiencing the worst moment of your life.
Yeah.
Like, you're just so disconnected, there's nothing left that can bring you joy, because anything that you felt good died out there.
Yeah.
Although
And
life
yeah,
is long,
yeah, life is long.
people can get through emotions. People
Yeah,
can
yeah, I definitely
reconcile.
know that there are people. That's why I mentioned like extreme PTSD, because there's just some people where it's just very intense. But yeah, and it's always good to even if they don't fully realize it at that moment, that they have people that care about them, that they can rely on and lean on, that can help them through that no matter what.
Yeah, most
And to
certainly.
like kind of like go back into like apathy, and like hate too. Like so like I struggled a lot with like depression in my early 20s, and so like
Yeah.
um a lot of like emotions that I had were based on the relationships that I had at the time. And that was a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah, me too.
negative emotions. And like I hated it a lot. So like and at that point I hated it enough to like game end it. And it was and that's why I could see both
Yeah.
sides of
And
like hate and like love and like going back to the earlier point of like people hurt people, people heal people. I've
Yeah,
experienced both sides of that, equation, so to speak.
and
right.
like depression is so complex,
Hmm.
because like you know you know that there's people that you rely on, but this depression just keeps telling you no, they don't
Hmm.
care. They don't care.
Yeah.
It literally fights against
Hmm.
this trust and love and care that you have for these other people, because you no longer care about yourself, so why should they care about you?
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
it's insane, and it's
Hmm.
definitely a struggle. I've been diagnosed with it, and I've struggled with it around the end of high school. It's
Yeah.
it's definitely a hard fight. So if anyone's out there dealing with it, please get help. And if you are being helped, that's good. Keep getting it until you're
Yeah.
better.
You know what I realized the other day?
Yo,
Mm.
yeah, what did you realize?
I realized that I would say that I have negative days now, but I mean, I guess for a while, but I just realized
Hmm.
something the other day. But like, I'm not depressed no more.
I've
Wow,
definitely have
that's awesome.
Yeah.
noticed
Yeah.
a big increase in positivity in my life after I've started dating Kat, because like
Yeah, I've noticed that too, and I'm
it's
really
just a
glad for
healthy,
you.
it's just really
Yeah.
healthy, and I'm just
I'm really
happy.
happy for you, man.
Yeah, thanks. I
Awesome.
appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen you grow a lot during this relationship, and it's
Yeah,
really awesome to
because
see.
a lot of my depression did stem from failed relationships and
Mm,
misunderstanding and miscommunication and all that in terms of
mm,
love life.
mm.
Yeah. That's really tough.
But yeah,
Yeah.
because I just had like so much love to give, and not being able to give it just led me down dark path.
Yeah.
That, and I also have you guys. I care about you guys too.
We care about
Yeah,
you
thank
too, Brian.
Same. Likewise.
I love
Yeah.
having this podcast and talks with you guys.
This
It's
podcast
always
is
a
awesome.
fun time.
That's a really good idea.
Dude. Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
I gotta start
We talked
editing
about it for like
the.
3 years.
Yeah.
Start a podcast, never mentioned it, and then 2 years passed, and it's like, you know what? Yeah, let's start a podcast.
Hey, you guys remember that time, like 30 years ago? Okay.
Dude, imagine our kids
Fuck
watching this. Our kids
Uh,
just watch this, and they're just like,
Our kids have
Yikes.
to put out the podcast for us.
our kids just
Yikes.
cancel us.
Dad,
We're
what
gonna
did
get
you say on
what,
this
what'd you
shit?
say? Why'd you say that? You can't say that. Well,
Yeah.
at the
3 years
time, it
later,
was
canceled.
okay.
Yeah.
Go back to the times. No, was it? You still
All right.
Oh,
Okay. The next topic I think is really interesting, and that is, why does attraction exist? Why do we have this
Mhm.
natural drive of attraction?
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. I think
evolution.
evolution. Alex, can you say a little more about the biological shit going
Yeah,
on?
sure. I can try.
Do you know
Yeah.
anything about that?
I know bits and pieces, but I mean it's a tricky conundrum though. Obviously we have male and female creatures on this world, and one thing we
X
do
and
know
Y
about
chromosome.
is the X and Y chromosomes, DNA. Yeah, so that's one
Yeah.
big indicator of kind of these differences and why we need these differences. But then you
Biology, yes.
also you measure blood content, you measure hormones and how they operate. And there's a lot of complexity happening in each human. So, but essentially, yeah, why people sort of, why attraction sort of exists is to kind of propagate, having kids. Nature wants life to flourish, right?
Yeah. I
So,
think it's only the bigger part is nature over like
Right.
evolution.
It is a part of nature and evolution for you to want to procreate and pass on your genes. But that also raises the question, what about people that identify as homosexuals? Not
I
not
mean,
trying to make this political or saying that
sure.
No,
lifestyle
no,
is
I got
wrong. Anyone can live however they want. I am in no authority or position to tell anyone how to live. I just want to put that out there. I just think it's an interesting question to ask when we know that that is part of nature's
nature versus choice.
main. It's like the main thing of it is you want to pass your genetic code on.
Mhm.
You want to
Yeah.
procreate and want offspring.
Yep.
And then that
Yeah. So,
also,
And also like
then you could
people.
also ask the question about adoption as well,
Yeah.
because like
You can want a child.
in nature with animals, they will straight up kill other offspring because they want theirs to have a better chance. So they'll
But
knock
there are
out
also some
any
creatures.
competition.
There are
Yeah,
also
but there
some
are some
documented
creatures,
creatures
yeah,
who
definitely
will like
that will
adopt
take in.
other. Yep.
Yeah,
It's kind of
there was a weird
interesting.
one.
That is interesting.
There was a really weird one. It was like I want to say it was like some big cat took in some like animal it would like normally eat
Yeah, it was like a bird or
or
something, wasn't
something.
it?
I have no idea.
Look it up real quick.
I'll see if I can find it, but yeah, you guys go ahead, share your thoughts as I try to look for it.
Yeah. So like, what were we talking about?
How does traction happen?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what I wanted to say. So like, I think it's really interesting how nature created like the DNA components of like the very essence of us, and then they
Oh,
split it up into two parts.
a
Like
Samai,
it was
the
already complete,
tigress, and her
so why would they split it
piglets.
up? But it's interesting
A
how we came
tiger
from a
and
single cell to multi-cell. And
Mm.
it kind of
dude,
shows the split between there and our
a
nature
tiger
and
had
shit.
piglets.
We want to,
I'm literally looking at a tiger that has piglets cuddling
well,
up next to it and stuff. That is so cute.
but yeah, we want to procreate. But I think an interesting question is why do you want to procreate?
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of a conundrum. Yeah, like
Yeah, because
Can we talk about the animals real quick? I found
yeah,
some
we
cool
can go
stuff.
back to that.
This
We
is
can go.
really
yeah.
cool. Breeding female dolphins have been known to adopt other calves to practice mothering skills. And in some
Oh,
cases,
dang.
dolphins have been
Yeah,
seen
dolphins
raising
are really
calves
smart.
of other whale species. They'll help raise
Interesting.
that. Yeah. Jackdaws, which are typically nest predators, the birds, have been
Yeah.
observed attempting to feed pigeon fledglings instead of eating them.
Hmm.
Very interesting. I think it's really interesting when it's definitely like that
Nature's
animal would eat
opposite.
that animal, but it's taking
Yeah,
care of it. That's
nature's
it's
helping
always
nature.
been very strange
That's a
thing to me,
interesting
but it's
question
so
too.
cool. It's so cool.
It's very awesome.
Sometimes calves are raised and cared for communally with elephants, a phenomenon which is called alloparenting. There are 6 extant sloth species of 2 genera. Oh, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But there's the marquis, the marquis, marquis. Isn't that a monkey?
I don't know. I thought it was a
Yeah.
chimpanzee.
I don't know my classification phylum.
Because
Look
I
it up.
think I heard there was a chimpanzee who adopted something he would eat too.
I don't know. A Mackay monkey and a chicken. I don't
Oh,
know
see
what the
that
Marquis sent the cat and puppies.
yeah,
Oh,
the
a
chicken or
cat
whatever.
with puppies. The cat with
Oh
puppies.
yeah,
Okay, I
cat with
misread.
puppies. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Owen the hippo and MZ the turtle. Albert the sheep and Themba the elephant.
I think how nature is so interesting.
Yeah.
But like, there's so many different places out there.
I also think it's cool how a lot of animals can also have a relationship with humans.
Yeah. Yep.
Because, like, there are dolphins
Everybody
that,
has the potential.
like, I mean, it's a fucked up story, but the story about the dolphin that the government was, like, doing things with, that they were, like, trying to communicate with dolphins or whatever. But there was this girl that they had, and this girl
Oh yeah.
sexually pleased the dolphin to behave. And when she
Yeah.
was taken off of it, the dolphin actually got depressed because apparently, like, the dolphin had, in a way, in a
Bonded.
different way from humans, had, like, in a way, fallen in love. So he got so depressed that he ended up just drowning himself.
Fuck.
Yep, he
Dang.
just sank to the bottom of the pool and stayed there, never resurfaced for air, and died.
So sad.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up.
Emotions.
Yeah, but that's it's just goes to show like how deep a relationship between an animal and some animals and humans can go. And I
Yeah.
think that it's a very interesting. Yeah, it's very sad, and it's also just a fucked up thing that happened. But yeah,
Who did that? Which government did that?
ours.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. Yeah,
CIA
you could
probably.
just look that up. There's a lot of research on it and stuff. A lot of stories covering it. A lot of videos on it. It's a very interesting topic for sure, though. Even though it's sad and messed up, it's definitely a very interesting thing. Because, I mean, even though it was wrong how we got the data, it's still data, and data is valuable.
You see?
Yeah. Bella! Give her a couple head scratches for me. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, we could also talk a little bit about pheromones too. Animals release
Oh, yeah.
pheromone.
Did you know
Oh,
that's
yeah.
actually the point of pubic hair and body hair?
Really?
Yes. The body hair is actually supposed to release pheromones. You don't detect them, but your brain does, and it's actually supposed
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like increase the desire to
Mhm.
take part
To
in
mate.
acts of procreation. Yes.
Yes.
I'd also
To have coitus.
yes. You can also measure a dopamine spike in a sexual act. So you
Oh,
can.
yes.
There's reinforcement happening
Yeah.
on the
Yep.
biological level.
Positive reinforcement. Your brain releases a lot of dopamine when you climax because your brain's actually telling
That's
you,
also why people
hey,
get addicted to porn
yeah,
and shit.
yeah, because it's pleasure. It's pleasure. You
Yeah.
get addicted to that
Dopamine.
pleasure.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be you enjoy that pleasure, so you're likely to do it again in the future,
Yep.
not to
Yeah.
constantly do it. That's when you become an addict.
Yeah.
But also,
And
I found this interesting because I was just kind of looking up some sex facts and stuff because, I'm an adult. I can look up that stuff. But if the males are likely to engage in procreation almost immediately after committing an act and reaching climax if there's another female involved, because the natural monkey brain of the man
he wants
goes,
to mate with
oh,
all everybody.
yes, mate, more another possibility to pass genetic code,
Yeah.
which, I mean, fair. I mean, that's
Yeah.
how it works. That's what nature
Yeah.
is telling you to do. I just
I
found
can't
that to be an
explain.
interesting
I
fact.
think it's interesting.
Because
Nature over nurture.
most of the time it's sleep.
Yeah.
It's weird to know how. It's weird to know how things happen, but to not know why it happens.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, because that's what I think about life and kind of sexual activity. We know we can observe things that happen,
And we also kind of just accept that everybody sleeps with everybody.
yeah, we
Nobody
just
says
Yeah.
anything about it.
it's
Especially in
just part of
American
Yeah,
life.
culture. Nobody
it's
says shit
definitely
about it.
weird how society
Nobody
has
talks.
shifted. Because back in the 1950s and 60s, it was you got married and you stayed with that person until they died. Like,
Which
yeah, there was
was
still
not the
cheating, but
norm,
it was yeah.
historically
But
speaking.
as of today, yeah, it's more of and that's just because it's easier access. You can download an app and literally find people and just go, hey, I'm feeling frisky. Are you? Sure.
Yeah.
Let's meet up somewhere. And boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back
Some
then,
frog shit I see.
I think back then it was. I mean, back then, it was still very sleazy.
Oh yeah. They
Don't get me
definitely had like
wrong.
stag parties and shit like that.
Oh yeah, and the rich businessmen going to the peep shows
They
and
had
stuff like that. It was
ancient
definitely
like
that and the
brothels and
industry.
shit.
Yeah, the
Brothels for
entertainment
sure.
industry as well was very sexual
Very
as
prominent.
well. Yeah, very.
Oh, while we're talking about this, we should open up the discussion for what the pill represents, right? So again, in
pill?
history, yeah. So in
After morning
history,
pill, I assume.
no, just kind of contraceptives in general. So I'm
Oh,
saying
okay.
how
contraceptives. Okay.
before contraceptives, you were having a kid if you had sex, right? That was just what happened. You either it worked or it didn't work.
Given
And
you climaxed inside of.
Yeah.
right, given standard protocol, right?
Yes.
So
Standard procreation
So-
protocol.
Yes.
Initiated.
Oh, lady, may we initiate the procreation process, please?
so yeah,
Initiation complete.
so the
Docking.
purpose of sex was to have kids, and that was
Right.
that was it. That
Yep.
was it.
Yeah, on the nature standpoint, yes.
But now, with contraceptives, it opens up new discovery. You can have casual sex now, right? Which this is what kind of our world is having trouble with. So like
Yeah.
before you could only
Right.
you choose one person, you have sex, you have kids, that was it. But now people can just keep doing it and seemingly
No
have
consequences.
little to no consequences, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of messed up our chemistry a little bit, just because it's a new thing that we don't
Yeah,
we don't
our
have any
nature has kind
science
of
for.
evolved.
And that's why we
in a
also have
way.
like sex addicts, you know?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because
that's definitely a problem. I mean,
It promotes
the
promiscuous
chemistry and
behavior.
it's so accessible now.
yeah, but I mean, if people want to have casual sex, that is all up
Yeah,
to them,
yeah. I
If
don't
they
care
want to
about
do
that.
that, yeah, but to us, we
It
have
does
our
become a
opinions.
problem, I think, when you have it too much and then
Yes, when it's just like you're using it as
overwhelming.
an escape or just as a
It can become
temporary
like anything
solution
else
to
that you
a
can abuse.
serious problem. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
in all of
you're-
this,
it's-
maybe we can try to like respect the body, our own bodies, but other people's bodies as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yep. And that goes into like consent, comfortability, because you're being very vulnerable.
Oh yeah, extreme hyper
That's
vulnerable.
the epitome of vulnerability out there. Probably.
And studies show that if you are in a relationship and there is promiscuous behavior, or if I want to say this right, if there's infidelity in the relationship,
Mhm.
the relationship has a much greater chance of being disbanded,
Oh yeah.
much higher,
Lose
because
trust.
yeah, again, back to the beginning, it all is sort of built on trust and loyalty, right? And if you can trust and be loyal to someone, well, it should be, fine, right? But it's if you can't, well, then it creates a lot of problems. You just, one act of distrust can really, really change the entirety of the landscape. So it's just something to think about, I think. And again, respecting our bodies and our boundaries and the being that we inhabit, and trying not to abuse our bodies and others' bodies too much.
Hey guys, doesn't it kind of look like there's like a demon looking in through my window?
Funny.
Kind of looks like there's two red eyes.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was kind of looking at it. I'm like, that's a little creepy, but all right.
Good luck, Brian.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Hopefully,
VHS, bro. You should have watched
I'll be off
VHS,
tomorrow.
bro.
Dude,
Yeah.
next movie night we gotta plan that so we can watch the other ones. Did you guys
Oh,
like
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Wasn't that
Yeah,
your
dude.
guys'
The
first time watching
VHS
it?
was. Yeah. I have never seen that movie before.
You've never seen them? Oh, that's
No.
awesome. Which was your guys'
Yeah.
favorite?
I think the one where the camera glitch dude,
The
or
first one?
no, not the first one. What's the first one? The one where they're on the road trip, and then they
Yeah, where she takes them to the lake,
yeah,
and
to
then
the like. Is that the first one?
there's like a guy that's killing them, and he's only seen through the camera glitch. I think that's the
Yeah,
second one.
yeah, the second one, and then the last one was crazy.
The alien
And then
abduction.
wait, was it? I'm talking about the first movie,
Oh, the first. Oh, and sorry, and the alien abduction was in the middle one. Did you guys like the alien abduction one?
the middle one.
In the middle of the second movie, it was a middle
Oh yeah,
clip
I
segment.
didn't say for that one.
Oh yeah,
I had
Alex,
to
did
go.
you like that one? The alien abduction,
Yeah,
sleepover,
it's pretty cool.
whatever. Yeah,
I will say, is like a
there's a spin-off movie
forewarning.
off that called The Kids
Really?
versus Aliens. Yes, we should watch that. And there's also
Yeah,
a
that'd be cool.
spin-off of the first one with the lady with the split face called Siren.
Oh yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
He was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" And then he goes back into the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean that. What are you gonna do? Go just walk by her
I would
casually to the door?
I would sacrifice my friend. Run over there. At
Right?
that
He
point,
did.
I'm just running.
He went into the bathroom like back. He opened the door, looks, and he goes back, and he opens the
Yeah,
door, and he looks, and he's go back, and he opens the door again. And he look, he looks, he goes back into the
yeah,
bathroom each time.
and then he just stays there
Yeah,
for like 3 whole minutes while he could have just ran while she was distracted.
yeah,
And then he's just like screaming the whole time, looking at his dead friend.
Yeah.
I'm
And
like,
yeah,
then he falls down the
bro.
stairs like a dummy.
Yeah, yeah. And then would he break his elbow or something?
That.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
He
care that you. I'm gonna say
bone
this
came
one
out.
time. I don't care that you broke your elbow.
Have you guys seen the movie Novocaine?
Novocaine? What's that about?
I'm
Do you
not.
know who Jack Quaid is?
Jack Wade? I don't think
He
so.
plays as Huey in The Boys.
Oh yeah,
Nope. I
yeah,
never
Look
seen
him
the
yeah.
up
boys
real
do
I
that.
know
quick.
I don't
that
know.
actor. The
Jack
boys. I like
What's the
that.
movie?
Quaid.
What's the movie?
Novocaine.
American actor.
Oh,
Novocaine. Yeah.
Novocaine.
So, yeah. So basically, he has a condition.
Oh, he
So
was in
Novocaine, he can't feel pain, essentially. And then the
uh
girl that he likes gets basically kidnapped during a bank heist.
Oh, he's like I've seen that trailer where he's like going to the tattoo parlor and then the guy's like, "What's the password?" And then he's like, I know this guy. And she's like, "Oh, you know this guy? Come in." And then he gets the tattoo and then he gets intimidated by the guy and he's gonna about to beat this guy up.
Yeah. But it's like a really large guy, so like he like throws him into a glass panel, and then
Yeah.
so Jack,
Yeah.
I forget his character's name. He starts punching the glass to get glassed knuckles.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's insane. It's such a good movie. I highly recommend it.
You watched that
But
already?
yeah, oh yeah,
We should watch that
for sure we
Sounds
should.
good.
It's so good
sometime.
when it comes out.
Oh, it's not out
Yeah,
yet.
it's in theaters.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, little just side tangent, a little bit of a break, but
Mhm.
let's get this last topic done, and then
Okay.
we'll wrap.
I mean, I
Why
think
do
we talked enough.
emotions? Why do
Uh,
emotions mess with logic?
Why do they mess with logic?
Yep.
What do you?
Erick had written down relationships equal memories. Memories equals feelings. Feelings equal pain. Pain equals sorrow. Sorrow equals loss. Loss equals appreciation. And appreciations equals relationships. It's a circle.
Wow.
yeah.
Well, it's hard to
Haiku.
argue with that logic.
I feel
Yeah,
like
that's not-
loss would more likely lead to, well, yeah. I feel like the pain would lead to, would be more related to, well, because like the feeling of the pain would of sorrow would have to come from the loss. And I believe from that
I mean,
sorrow.
it's not finite. You know, it's not
Oh,
definite.
right.
It's
Okay.
just a
Yeah. But
sketch.
I
I
believe
wrote
like
it in
from
like
the
3 seconds, bro.
no, yeah, no, you're all good. You're all good.
Yeah, you can
Sorry,
change
I'm
it
just
however you
taking
want,
on
but
too
like,
much. Yeah, because
but
I
it's
just think that sorrow, the sorrow from loss,
mhm.
would lead to the appreciation of life
Yeah.
and
I mean, you could probably
the
cut some stuff out
relationships
of
that
it,
you
but
still
like,
have.
yeah, I kind of edged it to make that joke, and
No,
then
you're
I
all
kind of like fucked it up a little bit. It
yeah, man.
was
You're
better
all
before.
good.
Yeah. I think the
Yeah.
point I was trying to make is that like you can love somebody and make mistakes for that person. No,
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
if you're in a relationship, like high school
Yeah.
relationships are very. This is a good example. One of them's going to college or something and far away, and one of them's staying local. So you can do the wrong decision and go to like a more expensive college that doesn't pay more of your scholarship, that doesn't pay like the full tuition ride. You have to pay more out of pocket. You could go to that college for that other person because that's where that other person is going,
Yeah.
and you do it for
Yeah.
love, or you can save your money and go to a different school where your
Yeah.
love is not there
Uh,
or that relationship is absent, and
yeah. A lot of the
you know
times the emotion overrides
mhm,
the logical
the
choice.
logic. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Depends
Yeah,
on the
for
person.
sure.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
lot.
Oh
It
yeah,
also
yeah,
it
yeah.
also definitely depends on the person for sure.
Yeah,
But
not all emotional choices
in most
are
cases,
bad.
there are certain situations that are pretty universal, like a family member asking for help, or like
Like yeah,
child
or
and
in
parent
times
type
of
shit.
right, or in times of crisis when you're supposed to stay
Hmm.
calm, but it's a crisis so you're freaking out.
Yeah.
Well, I would
The
say that
building's on
there's.
fire, everyone's freaking out. Everyone's supposed to stay calm so you can all get out of the building in an orderly and fast fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Efficiency.
I'd say that there's just different kinds of people. So I would
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
Oh
so
yeah,
that
for
there
sure.
I would say that there's emotionally driven people which primarily focus on emotions, and
Hmm.
that doesn't mean that they're not logical, but their logic is not as
Yeah,
strong
but I'm
as
trying to say
their
like maybe like I want to say a rough number, maybe like a 2/3 of the population would probably respond to
Oh yeah,
most
I think it's
situations like
safe.
that.
I think it's safe to say that most people are
I'm not saying
emotionally.
there are no outsiders or outliers. You know.
Yeah, I think in a general sense, most people are emotionally driven. That's their
Yeah. Yeah.
primary.
Yeah.
That's their
Yeah.
primary thing.
Yeah.
But
That's what
not
I
to
was trying to
say.
say.
Okay.
I'm not trying to negate the outliers. You know.
Yeah, actually, in psychology, I know there's like kind of three different classifications. So like we have the intellects kind of people who are they focus on the brain a lot, and then you have a classification of action, people who do a lot, who have a lot of action in their life, and then people who feel a lot. So you can have this kind of three axis thing if you want to kind of look at it that way. But
It's interesting.
yeah, so like some people are big feelers,
Hmm. I
and
feel
some
like
people are
that.
big thinkers or big doers or a mix.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. For
I
sure.
think emotions are very powerful. I think emotions are the most probably the most powerful thing in the world. I think. So maybe that's just me.
No, no, I think you're right. Emotions can change the world.
Yeah, they
And how
really
you
can.
feel, you can change the world. And like I was saying earlier, like hate and love, you can love something so much that you can change the world, or you can hate something so much that you can change the world. You know,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh
it's
yeah.
crazy. That's the power of free will, everybody.
And you can love someone and hate them at the same time.
That is also true.
Oh
That's
yeah.
pretty
Paradoxical
wild.
emotions.
Kind of
Or
weird.
you can
Human
love
being.
someone and hate
For
what
sure.
they do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even deeper. And that's like,
Yeah.
why would you? How can you reconcile it?
Mm. Yeah. Or maybe you can love someone's identity and what they stand for, but like one in particular action, you can
Or you
hate.
can like love what they do, like creatives, like a lot of times people say separate the artist from the person
Yeah,
because people are shitty sometimes.
sure.
They
Sure.
can get shitty due to like outside factors.
Yeah,
People
it's an
change.
interesting. It's peculiar why people get shitty. Peculiar. Why do people
Oh
get
my
shitty? I wonder
god.
what that's all about.
It's more of a defense of the ego.
Yeah.
Why? I see. So
Yeah, a lot of people really care about their self-image.
interesting. So like the defense of the ego, and if that ego is altered or crumbled, then they
Or
feel
inflated.
inflated,
Or
right?
threatened.
Or threatened. Yep.
But we can also misinterpret the ego. We can think many things about ourselves. Hopefully
Yeah.
they're
For
true.
sure.
And we can change our ego at any point.
So if we can change our ego at any point, that's kind of interesting how we think we're fixed for this thing, but it's ever evolving.
Yeah. I love the yeah. We're a paradoxical creature, bro.
Oh yeah.
Life is interesting.
Life is a joke, man.
Yep. We are hypocrites. That's how it works.
Oh yes.
Well, I try not to be a hypocrite. I may not be knowledgeable, but
What is the
Well-
saying? What is the saying?
ignorance is bliss.
No. I may be dumb, but I'm not stupid.
Oh wow.
That one.
Yeah. Dumb, but I ain't stupid.
I think that's the same.
I may be stupid.
That's all.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's all. That's it.
You know what?
I just
might-
I got an even better one. I may be.
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe.
I may be.
Just maybe.
You know?
Yeah, maybe. May.
Just I may.
I have a confession to make. I'm kind of retarded.
Look, here's
We're
the
gonna
thing.
be fine. Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
Look, let me be a little honest. I'm a little retarded. Yeah, let me find it.
Sorry, I used the R word. I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, come on, Alex. Cancel him. Everybody in the comments say, fuck Alex. No hate mail. No hate mail. No hate mail. Just in the comments. Okay, just in the comments. Cancel him, Alex.
I will say though, even though I would say that there are many there are many low IQ people.
You fucking goddamn fucker. Listen, fuckhead. You fucking
Oh my-
crossed the line.
My gosh. Man, oh man.
We're definitely getting demonetized, bro.
I'm kind of retarded.
Okay.
Who said that? Alex Jones?
Yeah.
On Joe
Oh
Rogan.
my god. On Joe Rogan? Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
I watched that episode.
it's
I've
so
seen
good.
that episode.
It's so good.
I saw it when it came out, when it aired live.
No way.
Well,
I've
what
been
was he?
OG.
Well, what was that one thing he said about like time traveling pedophiles or something? Like time traveling pedophile vampires or something?
Alex
Says some wild-
Jones. He's
Dude, oh,
He's a
that,
him and
that-
Joe Rogan together is like
Two peas
I don't
in a
even
pod.
want to know. I don't even want to know.
Oh, dude, it's just the best tinfoil hat stuff ever. It's great.
The only person they're missing from is Ye.
Bro, Dude, the stuff he says, like,
I
what?
know. Why, bro? Why would you? What? He has absolutely no filter.
It's like, dude, are you trying to destroy your reputation and the respect people have for you? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like I don't know,
Like,
man. I still support him though.
it's just so absurd, man. He's like
I
coming out as
know.
like a fucking Nazi. It's like, what the
It's
fuck,
like the
dude?
Nazis would kill you, bro.
You can't be saying that stuff.
Yeah.
There's nobody like
Like,
Kanye.
if you
That's
actually
all I'll
think
say.
that,
There's
like,
nobody
just
like
keep it
Kanye.
to yourself, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff he has said is just foul. It's just like, what the
Did you see that he
hell,
called
dude?
Diddy's kids? I don't know, Jay-Z's kids, like the R word? Hey man, I ain't getting canceled.
Come on, man.
Like why?
Why can't we just go back to like
What?
fun beef like Drake and
Yeah.
Kendrick? Like, can we go back to fun beef like that? That was
I got
fun.
some bangers though. That got some bangers on
Dude,
both sides.
there was some heat in those, bro. In some of those
Yeah,
diss
dude.
tracks, like, geez.
Yeah, dude.
Very deep and intricate.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kendrick
Yep.
destroyed Drake. Like,
Yeah, Kendrick did his thing. Drake tried to fight back. It was rough.
just kind of slapped him lightly back, and then Kendrick just
Yeah.
took his career out back. Damn.
Yeah, damn near.
Yeah. Anyway, good,
But yeah.
interesting topic you chose, Eric. I believe we got
Yes,
some
thank you.
That was interesting.
deep, deep conversation about it. Yeah, very
Yeah.
interesting indeed.
You rallied at the end.
Yep, pushed through. But if you haven't noticed, I've been kind of closing my eyes a lot.
I know, I saw. We can go to sleep now.
Yeah, it's just getting to that time to where I usually
Yeah.
feel tired.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
All a part of the schedule, yay.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah.
at least you're having more time for yourself, you know?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I organized the rest of my magic cards today, so all I have to do
Oh,
is
nice.
scan them into my collection and put them away, and then boom.
Yeah, we can go. We can go.
All right.
I'm
Well,
gonna have
thank
to
you
head out too.
everybody for stopping by the Afterburners and listening to our discussion on relationship dynamics.
Thank
If
you.
you liked it, please leave a comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more afterthoughts and more afterburners in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see
And
what the future holds.
hell yeah, buddy.
Yes.
Any other closing thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys just tuning in, listening to what I had to say about relationships. If you can leave a like, subscribe, all that shit, that'd be really cool. I appreciate you guys.
Likewise, thank you everyone for coming and spending your time here, and hopefully maybe learning something or benefiting in some way. So, yeah. Thank you.
All right. We'll catch you later. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace.